So, Kyle, we've been partners now for what, 5+ years?
Yeah, that's right.
So, it's somewhat weird now interviewing you. Why don't you start by telling us quickly why we are here?
Well, we're here because we're introducing the On Page SEO course that I put together.
Yes, indeed. We actually pre test launched the course a few weeks back, and I already have some testimonials. Would you mind if I read some of those out, Kyle?
Yeah, I'm glad that you're reading them because me reading them is embarrassing.
So, we have Raul Ruck, and he says Kyle's teachings totally changed how I approach on page SEO. I already knew that Google is an algorithm, but I wasn't fully aware how easy it is to beat. Hashtag rhinoplasty plano. I really like the teaching style and content quality.
I was able to meet with Raul, and because he purchased the VIP ticket that we had for the pre-launch, and that came with an hour of either time with myself or with Ted Kubitis from Quora. He's in a competitive niche, and actually we ran through all his questions and it only took a half hour or so. And I said, "Hey, you've got a half hour in the bank. Then whenever you need it, let's use it." And what's interesting is about a week later, he got hit by one of the big algo updates, and it had a whole bunch of Quora reports on the Quora diff report showing the change in where the SERPs were from when he was before to the drop. And I said, "Hey, let's get Ted on a call." So I was actually able to hook him up with Ted, and Ted actually walked him straight through the changes that he had in the algo update. So that was actually a pretty fun, like, hey, kind of talk about some on-page stuff, and then immediately like, let's put this into action right now, as he's working through an update that had just happened.
Yeah, right. I bet he was pretty stoked with that. Next one, Terry Samuels. This course showed us new ideas and processes we haven't seen. Outstanding. Teaching is easy to follow. I've been through all the popular trainings in our testing of courses for our staff. This course tops them all.
Terry's an agency owner in Phoenix, Arizona. I've known him for a little bit actually, but he's been in the game for a long time, like 20-ish years. Something that I liked about what he had to say is that even in that time, that this gave him processes. As an agency owner who's been around the block a few times, to be able to provide a process for him even to be able to use it was really very nice of him to write, and I'm very encouraged that he's able to get that out of the course.
Very cool. Adrian Diaz. The information shared in this course is mind-blowing for a beginner intermediate SEO like myself. I've been doing SEO for a year or so, and I'm trying to get better at it. Hence, I'm here learning from the creme de la creme SEO, Kyle Roof. The course definitely helped me change the way I see SEO. Now I understand why I'm doing what I'm doing instead of just guessing what to change on a page and pray that it works. I really like the short and to the point video structure of the course, especially since my attention span when I'm trying to learn something new tends to be less than 10 minutes before I start losing focus.
Some people have told me actually that have gone through the course about how just being able to put it on during their commute to work and kind of listening to SEO as they go. So like the videos are short, and that's intentional so that you can kind of get that lesson that you need, but then also refer to it if you need to without having to refer to the entire course. But a lot of people like Adrian have told me that that's what they do. Like, they're in the car, they just put it on, or they're, in the train to work, put it on, and just get some little SEO nugs as they go.
Awesome. Lastly, Mark Moeller. The course has improved my SEO knowledge and, more importantly, processes dramatically. It's one thing being aware of key concepts, it's another being handed a complete blueprint of how to do the best practice SEO. That's what I love about this course. Kyle is a true master of his craft and an exceptionally good teacher. We have tons of more of these, but at the risk of losing our audience, I'm going to stop there. Kyle, so I've been around you a bunch at different conferences. Most recently, we were just at Chiang Mai SEO. And I see time and time again the same thing happen. Our other SEOs go weak at the knees when they see you enter a room. And inevitably, it always ends with you being surrounded by some kind of SEO entourage. Can you tell us a little bit about what made you SEO famous?
People have seen me in a few different things, or they know me from a few different things. Some people know the rhinoplasty plano example where I entered a competition and got a page to rank just using lorem ipsum. And then later repeating that again to kind of show that it's not just a fluke, that really SEO does come down to counting in a silo. Some people know about the SEO test that I've done in the last 3 years. I've done more than 350 scientific tests on Google's algorithms, not just case studies, but actual scientific tests, and most of which are single variable tests. Some people know the software. They know me from Page Optimizer Pro, which is an on-page evaluation tool that at this point, I think more than 10,000 people have used. So a lot of people know me from a lot of different things, or they've seen like me on stage or other interviews, that sort of thing. But it's a lot of fun when people come up to talk about SEO, the things that I have said and that they've put into place and implemented, and how well things are going.
Thanks a lot. So what can you tell us about the course? What can SEOs who sign up expect to get out of it?
First and foremost, it's really all my knowledge. This is all my SEO knowledge in one place. What is it to expertise? It's 10,000 hours of work. This is the 10,000 hours of work, and it's really, I guess, boiled down to 7 hours. So that's about how long the course is. A little over 7 hours actually of instruction, and so it's taking all the knowledge that I have,
condensed down to 7 hours.
So you get to bypass all that learning. You don't need the 10,000 hours. It's really how I think about SEO. It's taught in a way that I think is methodical. It goes from some beginner concepts to some more advanced concepts. Not that I would necessarily say to skip the first part of the course if you think you're more advanced, but it is systematic in that it does build on itself. But you could go to some advanced concepts if you're like, hey, I'd really like to learn about Medic, or I'd like the on-page audit section. Those are things you could certainly skip to. But the course is kind of is built in a way that explains some more beginner concepts and getting into some more advanced and more technical concepts.
Awesome. Can you give us a quick preview into a couple of the lessons and the modules in the course?
Certainly. In the beginning part, and even though I'm calling this a basic concept, a lot of people ask like, hey, I've got 2 different keywords. They're very close to each other. Should both of those be on the same page? Or what about these long tail phrases? Should I be concerned about those? And the first thing that we work on in the course is actually identifying what those keywords are. Are they your primary keywords? Are they secondary keywords? Are they supporting keywords? And kind of once you have a framework for what different keyword types there are, then I think it helps you identify, as you are doing your own process for SEO, how to handle all those different scenarios. From there, we get into concepts like the silo, which again, I'm still calling a basic thing, but you've seen in the conferences recently with people coming up to me, a lot of advanced SEOs are asking how I'm doing that. So while it's kind of like a foundational piece, it's a foundational piece that a lot of people don't quite grasp yet, or aren't quite doing it maybe a way that could be even more effective. Getting into more advanced concepts, we get into the idea of keyword research that Andy, you and I do in the agency, looking for lost keywords. But one of the best ways to do keyword research is to find keywords that you used to have. Google understands that your site was about or is about this term, it just doesn't like it enough. That's the kind of thing where you can get amazingly quick wins in SEO traffic to your site by finding keywords that you used to have. I think it's actually one of the better forms of keyword research than just the standard keyword research of finding keywords to rank for. We also get into keyword cannibalization, which is another form of what I call keyword research, because if you've got a couple pages that are fighting over the same term, you're hurting your own traffic. And so you can get quick wins with that type of keyword research as into some more advanced concepts. We get into medic proofing your site. That's not necessarily something that'll help you rank better, but it's the kind of thing once you get your rank that can stop you from dropping when Google decides to see if you're trustworthy or not. I lay out our whole on-page audit. I mean, that is in the course. So if you're looking to how you can audit a site for on-page things, that's all laid out exactly in there. I was thinking about it before. That's actually a good thing, because for even beginners to advanced, because within the audit, there's actually an explanation of what each thing is, a written explanation. So you can actually go in and say, like, what are these things? Are they important? It's actually written in there. So like if you're even if I can see like agency advanced kind of guys liking that because it's systematic and something they can put into place that they're doing. But then also on the beginner side, because it was written to educate clients, was how it's put together. So actually people who are even new to SEO, it might be a great learning point, even though it's kind of deeper into the site. And something else, a couple other things would be like how to use AdWords for better SEO campaigns, which might be things that people aren't really thinking about, or how to do that, where you can save time and money, just to use AdWords just a little bit. Then we get into benchmarking and reporting. Like once you have these concepts and you like what you're doing, how can you properly report these things, or how can you benchmark where you're at to actually see improvement and measurable improvement and important improvement in SEO.
Okay, that's great. Let's talk about results for a moment. What are some of the results that people can expect to see once they've gone through the methods that you teach?
You know, something that's funny, something that I didn't realize is a lot of people don't realize that the rhinoplasty example, that is my SEO. I used Page Optimizer Pro and the concepts that are in this course to make that happen. In spite of the fact that a lot of talk about is data-driven SEO and doing research and doing those things, and yet people don't realize that that's really what I did for rhinoplasty Plano. So, you know, that went from not on the radar to like on page 9 to number 1 in about 6 weeks. You know, so that's not bad from a completely fresh domain. Within the course, I actually show, and it's in the section actually on Page Optimizer Pro, but how I took a page, it's a real page. They very kindly let me videotape what I was doing about their site, but they were top of page 2 for a term in Phoenix, and about 20 minutes worth of work moved them from top of page 2 to number 4 on page 1, and only took about 2-3 days. I think in the video I say 4, but it was actually more like 2. I just didn't want people to think that it could take 2 days.
Were they in the nose job niche, Kyle, or can you do other niche?
No, they're in the med spa niche actually, which is kind of funny that it's kind of health related. But I show exactly what I did, and I show the process that I went through and the analysis that I was doing, kind of the why behind. Let's just change these things. Let's change these few and then see how the page performs. You know, something with that is the idea of an optimization score. How to kind of categorize like how well optimized you are in relation to your competitors. And the interesting thing in that example is that page was at like a 46% and just moved it up to 66%. You know, that was it, you know, starting with some smaller, bigger things, but it was a 20% move and a score that isn't necessarily like the greatest score of all time. But you can see that that increment, that 20% change pushed that from page 2 to page 1. And that's one of the videos in the course you can see. One other thing that I think one of the biggest KPIs that people miss, or they're just not really, maybe they don't even think about, is the number of search terms a page is ranking for. They're called search queries in Search Console. When you start on a page that's not very well optimized, it might be ranking for 100 words, 100 keywords. And then as you properly optimize, you'll see that grow into the multiples of hundreds, into the thousands of keywords. Some of our clients' pages are ranking for thousands upon thousands of keywords. And that's the sign that you're doing good SEO. That's one of the most important KPIs because you're casting a wider net. You know, some people get really fixated on one particular keyword. You know, our main keyword is ranked here and it dropped one spot and they freak out, but it's like, well, if you have a better KPI, you can see like, well, it did drop one spot. We picked up 30 extra keywords and our clicks and impressions went up. That's okay. You know, so one of the big parts of this is really how to think about SEO in a way that is effective. You know, you want ROI. You don't want ranking position necessarily. I mean, ranking is nice. I mean, that is certainly part of it, but that's not the be all to end all. The more important measurement is, do you have a healthy page? Is this page growing? Are you getting clicks? Are you getting impressions? And so a lot of what I talk about in the course and what's the philosophy behind this SEO into a practical application is, how do we make a better page? Now, how do we get this page to rank for more things, to get more clicks, to get more impressions, in addition, of course, to help rank that primary keyword.
Right, okay. Well, obviously, those are all things that people want to learn. Can you tell us just a little on those kind of core principles that you've developed and teach to the students of this course?
Yeah, one of the biggest things that you need to get past is that Google can't read. Google can't read in the same way that a human can read. Google isn't sitting down and flipping through your website, to say like, oh yeah, this is really great content. I really like this. It's just, that's not how it works. Google is an algorithm, it's math. And so you need to be able to give it the math that it can read. And really what it comes down to is counting, and what you need to learn is what you need to count and what places you need to put those counts. That's a huge part of SEO. I also talk about constantly that the secret is hiding in plain sight. Google is showing you the sites that it likes, and it likes them for their on page, their off page, or a combination of the two. And the thing that you control the most is your on page. So that's kind of thing, off page signals, whatever you might be considering as an off page signal, there are a lot of variables to those things. They work, sometimes they don't. Should we get this or should we get that? All kinds of questions there, but the thing that you control the most is your on page. And so if you can do your on page the best, it's going to take you, when you think about the effort put in, it's the thing that can drive the most, the thing that you control the most. And at the end of the day, when that secret is hiding in plain sight, you want to give Google the page that it wants. I don't know how many times somebody said, like, I've got this single product page and it won't rank. And then you look at the SERPs, and that's because there are no single product pages. It's category pages, or it's like roundup articles. And the suggestion is make a category page or a roundup article. Stop wasting your time trying to optimize something that Google doesn't want. And so this all part of this process is to outline your page and outline according to elements that your competitors have. So you can build a page that Google is expecting to see. And this is actually one of those intersections where Google and humans do intersect, because humans have done these searches before. They're expecting to see a certain type of page. And if you outline a page according to those elements to give the page that Google wants, you actually also end up with a page that humans want to see as well.
Yeah, right. Tell me, who is the course aimed at, and who's going to kind of get the most benefit out of doing the Kyle Roof on-page course?
The most obvious person is an SEO. And that's somebody that's doing SEO in some capacity, whether a beginner SEO that's trying to learn how to do that to an advanced SEO. And they fall in different settings. There are people doing SEO for their own sites, small business people. They're kind of doing all their own marketing to small SEO agencies or individual SEOs, freelance SEOs, up to agency level type SEOs as well. For the people that have agencies or a small business person that has a team, or even that single SEO that has a group of VAs, this course is also helpful because you can train your staff on this. If you like these concepts and this is the work that you'd like them to do, this is the kind of thing that you can then train up your whole staff on how to do on page, and either fit it into the SEO that you're currently doing, because it's not a complete, you don't have to throw out the SEO you're doing. If you're doing good SEO, this is kind of thing that can complement. If you have no system whatsoever, well, then you can use the whole thing. You can put it in, but it's adaptable in the sense of, like, this could be your whole thing. Train your whole staff, learn it for yourself, or take certain portions that make sense to the system that you currently have in place that's working well, and adapt to those concepts. It's even not bad for content writers. The person that needs to learn how to write in a way so they can say they've got SEO copy, which I think a lot of content writers are probably being asked for right now, where how can I make something SEO but still be good copy? Well, that's easily answered in this course, because it's not about stuffing keywords into a certain place to call that SEO copy. Stuffing keywords into a certain place isn't what ranking is. It's counting certainly those things, but a bunch of other things as well. So for the content writer, I think they could learn a system where they could actually write copy that will hit a lot of what is needed for when they're presenting this to SEO firms or to websites that need copy that can rank.
Yeah, I'm really going to back you up on what you said about this course as a training tool. I think it's a great value and easy way that a contractor or an agency with subcontractors or content writers can get all of their content writers on the same page and doing kind of best practice on-page SEO.
Yeah.
Awesome. So
there's that 80-20 principle too. Sorry to cut you off. Where, like, if you do this, you can get that much benefit. And a lot of it can get you that far. real quick. And I think there's a lot within that course that can help you identify those places, but then you can train your staff on that. Like, let's get those big things so that we can get that big chunk. And then, you know what you're doing, you're a professional, then you can step in, and then that's where you do the fine tweaking from there. So, or even for the content writer, you can say this content will get to the 80% of the way. Now you're the SEO. You can SEO on top of this.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Awesome. So how can people get the course? Actually, I'm the one who is going to be distributing the course, or I'm in charge of that part. So I'll answer my own question here. Right now, if you cannot wait, we are already selling the course through IMG, our online SEO community platform. That's internetmarketing.gold. So you just need to either Google search or type in your browser internetmarketing.gold. And you can buy the course now at full price. It's 7 hours of short and easy to follow videos, and the price is $795 once off for unlimited use. But if you can wait until next week, we have a very special Black Friday deal where Kyle's On Page course is going to be half price. So you can save nearly $400, and that offer is going to be available from Monday to Friday next week. And then after that, it will revert back to the full price of $795. You cannot buy it at that price right now. So for now, if you just would like Kyle's Facebook page, which you can see in the corner of this ad, then just stay tuned and we will update you once the promotional course page goes live next week. Kyle, thanks very much for your time and all the information there. And thanks for watching.
Thank you.